RO must do this function himself. The law says that the ARO can do all the functions of the RO, but not the scrutiny of nominations. It's provided in section 22, where the provision for the appointment of the assistant returning officer is in the law. So he can perform all the functions, but not the scrutiny. But a situation may arise, supposing something goes very seriously wrong with the RO on the day of scrutiny, and we can't postpone this process. So in that situation alone, the ARO can be given that job. In that case, the presiding this RO will have to give a written instruction that because of these special problems I am not able to perform this function, and then the ARO is authorized to perform this function, but this should be avoided as far as practicable. Then you have to scrutinize on the date of scrutiny all the nomination papers. What our advice will be, that you know at the end of the 7th day or 8th day as to how many nomination papers have been filed in all, and you also know how many nomination papers have been filed by each candidate. One man may be filing only one, another may be filing 4. So what we would advise you, that just a day before the scrutiny, on the day previous to the date of scrutiny, you club all the nomination papers of one candidate together. Supposing somebody has filed a nomination paper at serial number 4, another he filed at serial number 11, then third and fourth he filed on the next day or maybe later as 15 and 16. So it's no problem if you just keep 4, 11, 15, 16 together. You start with 1, and when you come to 4, then you scrutinize the 4 number nomination paper first, and then as soon as that is over, then you can even take up the nomination of the same man as 11, 15, 16, so that the nomination papers of all the candidates, because all papers may be available in one nomination paper, others may not be having the receipt, security deposit, or the oath form, or the electoral roll. So all papers will be available at one place, so you can just keep them together, and one by one you have to scrutinize. But if you accept the first nomination paper, say he has filed the 4th nomination paper, you accept, but that does not mean that you will say, okay, now it's okay, why should I scrutinize this 11th, 15th, 16th? You have to again scrutinize 11th, 15th and 16th. Individually, you have to pass an individual order again on each of those nomination papers, because it's quite possible the first may have been wrongly accepted, whereas the 11th may have been properly accepted. So in the case of an election petition, the candidate will take refuge under that acceptance of 15th, 16th, 11th, because he has to prove that not merely this nomination was rejected properly, nomination whole was improperly accepted. So you have to pass individual orders on each of those nomination papers, even if somebody has filed 4. Then there may be some objections when you take the nomination papers one by one. Some nominations you may be able to accept straight away, because no objection, you also feel that there is no problem, you can just accept, all papers, all requirements are filled, then you accept that one. But in some cases there may be some objection by the others, saying no, this is not properly filed, the proposer is, number of proposers is less, or the security deposit he has not made, or something, some on any ground. Then you have to hear the complainant. Complainant will be the other candidates naturally, and those who have come with them. So you have to hear them, then you have to give the chance to the man against whom that objection has been raised. You have to hear him, then you have to pass an order. A speaking order you have to pass. Even if you accept, this will mean that you are rejecting the objection. if you accept the nomination despite the objection being raised, this means the objection is being overruled or the objection is being not accepted. So that also you must record your reason as to why you are not accepting that objection and you are overruling that objection. So that also has to be put in black and white. So you have to pass an order, and then the question arises, who can raise the objections? The candidates and their companions who have come from the other side, they can raise objections. But if you have some special knowledge about certain person, then you can also suo motu raise the objection if somebody else has not objected. But you cannot say that because nobody objected, so I also didn't raise an objection, though I knew that this man is having some disqualification. You have a right and rather a duty to see that the no person who is not qualified or a person who is disqualified becomes a candidate. So you can also suo motu raise the objection. Then if an objection is raised and then immediately the person is there and if he can rebut it, it's okay. But supposing he says I have some problem, somebody says that he was say convicted and the other person says yes I was convicted, but then later on by the appellate court I was acquitted. Then he says you give me time, I will just go and bring that copy of the appellate court's order. Then you can give him time, and in that case you can adjourn the scrutiny proceedings, but only for that man, not that you will say okay everything is now postponed. You adjourn the scrutiny proceeding only for that man. And what is the ultimate time up to which you can say adjourn the proceedings? That is till the date of the withdrawal, because when the withdrawal date is over, then we have to come to a conclusion of the this process. So by that time everything should be settled. So you can give the time for the adjournment, keeping in view that you may be required to hear the man on the date of withdrawal, how much time you will be needing for recording your order and all that. So keeping that in view, you can say supposing 3 p.m. is the withdrawal deadline. So you can say okay I am giving you time up to 10 o'clock. So you come with all your papers. So by 10 you must come, and then you have to conduct the inquiry and then record your decision with regard to that person's objections. So you can adjourn, but up to the date for the withdrawal, and that too well before 3 p.m.